the second chakra is called Swa Adhisthana. It's first one, Muladhara. And second one, Swadhisthana. Swa Adhisthana means Swa means self. Adhisthana means territory, trust, territory, and there's your territory. You and your territory. What does you and your territory mean? This is the physiologically. Your territory come with what? Your children, your ancestors, where you come from and you belongs to, and that is your territory. Is it? My territory. If you ask your territory, where is it? Where you come from, your father, mother, and where you going to be with your wife and your children and la la la, and that is your territory. What you made to be comfort in that space, and called Swa Adhisthana, me and my territory. And what are the physiological flexes in going to be there? It's like hypogastric, like the flexes we call, and the marma point is Kukundara. Kukundara is like a sciatic nerve around that, the Kukundara marma point. And what are the psychological, physiological and emotional imbalances staying in here or lies in here? What are the physiological organs lies in here? You in here, below the umbilicus, and the vagina up there. What are they? The womb and ovaries for the women, and for men, and all the gland which is the sperm produce, mastifera ducts, and the what do you call the prostate, and these is lie on in this area. And that means what are the psychological, physiological problems they can come up with? One is ancestral problems, because whatever coming from your parent, the relationship with your parents, what are and relationship towards your children, and this all is, and when you have the female and male, and this one is together, you see, relationship problem with the female and male. This itself, this is together. I said a lot of relationship problem comes like husband and wife and sex and, intimacy, this first chakra. When you go into second chakra, it's on your own relationship, with whom? Where you belongs to, where you going to be. And that means your parents' problem, like, for example, the gene problem. If the father or mother get cancer, you might have cancer, or your father or mother also not have a children, and not in you are child, so you can't do that. Sorry. I had to eat my own words now. The problems it rely on your own, your parents, and whatever they have, like relationship problems, or some people come into, I say, like, fertility, lot of fertility problems, and when they comes in, like, especially Asian people, and the problem is why they want to have a child, because their mother says so, and their mother-in-law won't say, that's why. And that's, otherwise there's like they lot of people, Asian people coming out with the fibroids. Fibroids mean in Ayurveda called Muda Garbha. Muda Garbha mean Garbha means false pregnancy. You know, Muda means false pregnancy, and then the emotions sometimes bring out like you have producing some kind of mass like a pregnancy and feel like I'm pregnant, and to stay away from the psychological issues with your parents and then your in-laws, and that's lot of happening to Asian and Afro-Caribbean women, because they both is oriented with the relationship and children, and is Afro-Caribbean like us, like Indian, then they are, if you're not producing a child, it's not, you are not a woman. And the Asian culture is the same. If you're not producing the child and you're not, there is no worth it. There is no worth as a woman, and that means they have that the false kind of security mess is going to be is called fibroids. A lot of Asians and Afro-Caribbean women can have the fibroids, and then the other problems. What are the other problems you have? Fertility. Fertility problem is you and your children. Like a lot of why is fertility problem appears in here? What is the element is governing here? Water. And what happened to the water in here? Drying up. And it is the fertility mean it is like seed has to plant in that area. And what you need? Nourishment and water. And then which constitution is mostly absorb the water? Water. Vata people, like the more you the when you have anorexia, what happened to people in here? They lost the periods, the menstruation. That means irrigation system is completely collapsed. They absorb all water, and it's dried up that area, and that means you lack of menstrual cycles, and then that means you don't produce the place to grow a seed, and you have the all menstrual cycle mean your womb is planted, like a bed, like flower bed is moisture and making it like a flower bed until the seed come into implant in that space. If it is not, it's coming out from the vagina. But in anorexic, or if you are not having nourishment, or the Vata people, what happened because of the moisture is not there, water element is not there, that means the bedding is not happening nicely, and that means you, even though you produce some eggs, this mechanism is not happening because there is no water in that area, and that means some fertility problem can occur in that way. And the other thing, infertility and fibroids and endometriosis. Endometriosis means? What is endometriosis? Endometriosis is the womb, what you call the endometrium, is thickening. Yeah, thickening with the
goes to other places.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's happening in here, and it's going to vagina and the other side. Like load of deposits of this mass of like the blood and the muscle, and then that called endometriosis. And endometriosis, why is that endometriosis? For more fire, progesterone, pitta. Yeah. More fire. Why more fire is why? Anger towards to not having children. More the Vata people not having more, water, and water is the problem. But fire, what is do? Is drying the water, and then but it's much more is appear in the blood circulatory system because it's a pitta, and then the pitta and Vata both is quite making imbalance in that area, Vata and Pitta, because the menstrual cycle, other problems, some amenorrhea, menorrhagia, like a too much period, too much, non-stop bleeding, or not having bleeding. Both is the same problem, either pitta or vata. Yes, both is having a lot of problem in that area. Is there any kapha problem? Is there? Is there? Kapha?
No.
There is no very much kapha problem there. Like the three constitution, kapha constitution is the one more fertile constitution. Like if you have vata, pitta, kapha, more fertile constitution in a female and male is kapha. And male kapha people, how do you see male? More the people have hair, more feel like they have fertility, the sperm count is high. Because the hair and the nail are waste products of Astidhatu, and then Astidhatu and Majja Shukra is going to be better, and that's why is like because if you Astidhatu is much better, Majja Dhatu is much better, Shukra Dhatu is if you're already falling here, and it is like your Astidhatu, the other dhatus is much more heavy, other dhatus is low, and that means feel like like people, the male having a lot of hair and then a lot of body hair, they can feel like male fertility level is high. And what are the male problems in this area? Prostate enlargement, cancer, and the other thing is urinary tract infection, and kind of some, what do you call that, calculus, and some kind of obstruction. This all can come this area. Is why urinary tract obstruction, urine problem and calculus. Why? Because it's related to water. You see, irrigation system. Like if water system is good and all the unpurified thing is coming out from the system, and then water getting drier, and then the irrigation system is little bit, not supposed to, is supposed to take all the unnecessary toxins out, but it's not going to be, and that why is a urinary tract problem. It's like a some kind of deposits, some solidity in that urinary tract, and that means can come like a calculus, urinary tract infections. I said to you, one of a man came to us, like he has a problem with urinary tract infection, and then not infection, bladder irritation and prostate and bladder irritation a lot, and then he's to the point he's wet in the bed. He has to wear a nappy at night because it's irritated. He doesn't know he's passing the V at night, and then the doctors say, he gone to whole doctors, whole thing, and then they at the end what they're going to do is a surgery, and but it's no cure. We will do a surgery and see, and then he doesn't want to risk it, and he came to us, and then we treated him. What kind of treatment we did? Fertility treatment. And all the fertility treatment, like the makeup, the put a paste on, and oil on, and then having some kind of fertility, the female fertility problem, we using some irritation, pitta to calm down this all. And then I always say, still you not get pregnant, are you? Like that, because we're doing the fertility problem treatment, and he got better. And because it's a heat taken out, more irrigation is the put in a place, and then he got better. And because it's like it's drying up, and then that his problem is completely due to stress. The stress causes you lots of problem in here. Why stress causes problem everywhere, but here mostly emotions are much more involved with your loved ones, you see, rather than your whole people in the world can die, but still you are not feeling that much, but somebody in your family died, you feel like so much emotions with that. And that means, so adhisthana mean you and your territory, something happened to your territory, but is the possibility is happening some is very high, like relationship breaking up, your mom gets sick and your dad got sick, and somebody has a cancer, somebody has like the not having children, somebody you might not having children. That means a lot of problem can occur in that place to be emotionally imbalanced. Anything due to your children, your relationship, your parents has come in problem as here, is lack of irrigation, like lack of moisture into that area, and it is affected to your womb, affected to your egg reserves, and affected to your fertility level, and affected to your sexual health. And this, like you have to really consider that psychologically how to eliminate. And if somebody comes with I will give you one of an example. If somebody comes and said to you, I want to have baby and blah blah blah, I'm in a relationship, it's very good, I didn't talk to my mother 10 years, I'm still not having baby. Yes, the problem lies. Relationship. It is like whatever you do to this is not going to resolve until you sort the problem. And it doesn't mean like you have to have go and ask forgiveness or forgive your mother or something like that. It's not. It's like deal with your mind, because a lot of people do is like put it under the carpet, brush it under the carpet and then not dealing with that and keep going. And when you're coming to have your own children, it's playing the game, and like, I'm not having children. And then, you refuse your own mother and you becoming a mother, and it is like, can you becoming a mother if you refuse your own mother? No, you can't. Some people can. A lot of people is like, you have to sort things out, and then 100% you talking to the patient and then giving all the medication and putting plasters and putting the tampons and doing so many panchakarma. It's not sorting out. Sometimes is a problem, but the thing is, the panchakarma, this treatment is very good, is like a bubble, is bringing out to the surface, which is you're buried in here. And then you have to talk to your mother. You have to sort this thing out. You have to, it's push you to deal with the actual problem before you're having a child. And then a lot of things is happening in like that way, when you come into fertility, it's like you have to sort it out ancestral problem and then your problem with your children. Sometimes, some previous marriage you have a child, then you don't have another child, and then when you have a new relationship, some people saying, why I got a child now, she's 13 years old and I can't get a child now. Yes, it's age, but more than its age, relationship with her own daughter and relationship with the whole family. And sometimes mother, as a mother, you want to protect your child not to have a child, and this is in mother's head, do you really want to have a child? No, my husband wants to have a child, and I really don't want, because I don't want my child to be the second best, and she's the one who is in a, and these subtle things sometimes comes, but it's all hanging on and hiding in this area, and that means you have to ask correct question and giving you the correct remedies, and you can bring something buried in there to the surface. I think without sorting out these problems, you have children, your child is in danger and you are in danger as well. The child comes, then they don't know how to cope with that, and then so many women has postnatal depression, and that means the babies here don't know how to connect with that, with the mind. Like it's like it's a sad situation. Somebody's yours sitting down, and some people love their plant better than your child. Nothing, you can't feel nothing with the person, and that means it's sad situation. And that means this is, they go ahead and have a child without sorting out what is the issue with your own self, and that very interesting. And then whenever the Ayurvedic way we dealing with the mothers, they never suffer from the postnatal depression, because why? They have somebody to look after, somebody to in front of you, and just the postnatal depression is quite high in this country, and then they don't know, because swa adhisthana you want to have your children because you want to, but a lot of people have children because you want to. That pretty picture, they put it in a side, you're going to match into the picture, like when you're 35, you have to have your mind, there is a pretty picture about you and your husband and 2 children. Who made that picture? It's like a society made. Either you want it to, you might not want it to, but this is the picture everybody wanted to crowd into, and then sometimes your wish is not there, especially Vata type people. Your wish is not there, but your mother's wish. If I do that, I'm matching to my mother's expectation. If I do that, I'm matching to my society expectation. If I'm matching to that, everybody feel I'm a good girl, good person. And then, other than that, if you really ask from yourself, it's not your picture. It's not what you want to, But everybody go, and then in that case, your will is not there, the child is coming, and then you can't connect with the child. Like it's really hard game for the mothers, and the postnatal depression comes Vata and mostly Kapha people. Why Kapha people? Why Kapha people? Love is their thing, is it? Their thing. Not Vata thing, not Pitta thing. The Kapha thing is the love. Like they have to want, they have to, and then they are overdoing it. Like they feel guilt, because of the guilt conscious, guilt, and they're going to do overly, and then they feel like a lot of postnatal depression with the Kapha mothers, more than Vata or Pitta, because Kapha is like wanting to do the right thing, 100%, and then when they're not feeling how they had to feel, they feel like depressed, and really hard to bring out from the postnatal depression from the Kapha people, and the other problems, their prostate enlargement, and this kind of thing happen. What kind of constitution mostly? Pitta. Drive. Lot of yoga teachers suffering from prostate enlargement. Sorry, it's male. Because it's push towards to, I have seen so many the yoga teachers in a Pitta, and they push too much this upon area, and then it's like too much energy is this, because it's a even sexual thing, they just let it go, or they become celibacy, because to be more spiritual, and more heat is going in this area, and that means a lot of feeling like a lot of prostate enlargement can come when you lot of heat accumulated in this area. Okay, and the other the prostate enlargement, the cause of the prostate enlargement is sexual desire. So many people, the men has lot of sexual desire, can't materialize it, and can have prostate enlargement, because why? Like they have so much thing to give or thing to do, but if they suppress that, or it is not materializing as a ejaculation, it is the heat can sustain in that area, and that means it's cause you prostate enlargement and the infertility, and both, because there's too much heat in that area and accumulated. Okay, and then what should we do in that kind of area, psychologically, physiologically? Reduce the heat is bring you the water right at that point. This is like the water, and then air had to be balancing. Vata need to be balancing. More vata bring here, pitta bring here. What is doing? More they dry the water, and really good the massage. Like kati vasti. Like oil putting into your the area. Like this posterior curve. And the holding oil for a long time, and it is like a lot of lubrication comes. And the other thing is like massage, and then other thing is like some kind of paste you can apply, like a trifla paste, something externally absorb heat. And women, we put so much the tampon oil. We put tampon with the medicated oil. You are not supposed to do that, and then it is bring loads of heat to the oil, and then it's absorb heat the oil, and then it's making its lubrication that area. And then that kind of treatment can do, but still you have to go to the counseling. Counseling means you have to really have to make effort to talk about their relationship with their territory, like parents and the mother, father, broken relationship, and then the divorces, and then stepchildren, stepdaughters, and this kind of thing. Plus, do you have children, and what's the relationship, you and your children? And this whole thing has to address in Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana means that is the counsel. This is like sexual, this one is territory oriented. Okay, and second thing. And the third one is coming to, and is this here is Mota is the element, and when you the Marma point is Kokundara Marma point. When you come into third one, it's called Manipura. Manipura means, money means, city of jewels. And the gem, city of jewels. Why is that called a city of jewels? Our jewel is there. What is our jewel? Nabi. Like Nabi means the belly button. Belly button is our connection between ancestor mother and my mother to mother's mother, these our and again this is the opening orifice of the energy to come into our body in front. All the Nabi marma is like a main marma. Main is if you hold us like a cell, and this is the nucleus, this mitochondrium and cell wall, and this is the nucleus. Nucleus is the one, is a Nabi. And nucleus is one, is a control everything in the body. What is control everything in the body in here? Digestion. Digestion. And then digestion make 5 elements. Jataragni, Panchabhutagni. The Panchabhutagni is the one connecting all the chakra, all the physiological body. And that means this is the main point in our body. Nabi, chakra, Nabi. And lot of it is called, the fire is there, and main element is fire, and we call this marma point is Nabi, and Manipura. Manipura means those days why we call this Manipura is people wearing gems. Now you wearing belt, you see, and belt you have like button, that belt buckle kind of thing, metal something. Sometimes people have in ancient India they wore a women especially like this kind of thing around like a sari, and then all gems is coming near to here, here, and here, and it's all the marma point. Like the end is like a vagina area, and then again the Swadhisthana and Nami, and then wearing these gems you can collecting all the energy to the marma point. And in here what people do is belly button piercing and putting gems. And is it good or bad?
It's bad.
If you're doing it the right way, it's good, but it doesn't has to stimulate all the time. It's like normally it's like they pierce in the sometimes the labia minora, majora, that kind of thing in women, and then this belly button and the nipples, and then eyebrows and ears, and then this, because of this lot of marma point they're taking and piercing and putting the gem and making a lot of the aim is the concentrate or collecting all the energy from the outside to the body. But it's going wrong because why we're wearing earrings? It's again another marma point. You can take a lot of energy wearing that kind of diamonds and some kind of gold and things like that. You can collecting all the energy to this kind of places, and is wearing wedding ring with the, and that's one of marma point. Like is love, and like that lots of marma point are there. This main marma point is here, city of gems is now being marma point because it's a digestion is there, and then you can and anybody here has any Nabi ring? No. How you feel?
I have big stomach problems. I should probably take that one out.
Yes, please. And I have so many patients coming sometimes like, take the bloody thing out. Then when I see that, I'm like, why? I feel better about that. And how is it digestion? Terrible. And then, take this out, And, it's like it can't constantly stimulate. It's affected to your digestion, And again, it has to be, if you see your horoscope, you go into horoscope reader, and, you have your birth chart, and you have select the gold or whatever the thing you supposed to have, the gem, the type of gem you have, and then you feel like some kind of connection with it. But if you're not knowing it and you pierce in that and put anything in there, like any metal and any stones, and it is screw your digestion up, and it is not very good. And what are what is the element is fire, and what are the issues you have in here? Why are the issues having in the Manipura chakra? Digestion, yes. Due to what kind of emotions? Emotions? Anger. Anger. And all the red kind of rays is going to be there. Anger, frustration, and desires, and this whole problems can stay in this place and is affected to the digestion. And if somebody like banker coming with a one of our patient and ulcers and vomiting in the morning, butterflies in the stomach before you go into work, and then having a gastritis, and depression, what you have to do?
Quit the job.
Quit your job. I'm not talking about you. And quit the job. And then we have one of the bank manager said to you, he's Hampton Court gardener now, And then this is what is it like, what, you have to do something about it. You can't stay like that because you are going to have some kind of terrible problem in that area. Liver, spleen, stomach, this whole thing going to be there. And that means its whole thing is boiling and baking in there. Is that thing, the liver enlargement and the inflammation, the gastritis, you can see like overstimulated, sorry?
It's all pitta.
All pitta. Pitta is, because it's, pitta can, stimulating in there, because it's like vata.
Would the butterflies not be a vata thing though?
Because of his depression. He knows what is coming now.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, it's not. And so he's a vata pitta kind of person, more pitta environment he's stuck. More pitta is there, but he's a vata type person. He shouldn't be there, and that is the problem. And this, you're vata pitta as well, you see,
I'm vata, kapha.
The kapha, yeah.
But pitta imbalance. I used to have a lot of pitta imbalance.
Pitta imbalance, okay. And sometimes this kind of problem, the environment sometimes not suit for the vata people or kapha people. Pitta people can little bit stay in that environment. That's what, if everybody going to refuse that jobs, who going to have it? And only pitta people. And vata or kapha people, either it's like the Darwin's, theory. If you're not suiting, it's rejecting from the place, And then if that vata and kapha people is not suiting for that place and is rejecting. And pitta people can survive in there because of their natural rhythm to, pitta to be, like sustaining there, can sustain a little bit. Yes, Ajanta?
Shara was just saying she had the same thing, she had the piercing.
Yeah.
And she said she went to see a Chinese doctor and he suggested to take it out, and she said within a week the digestion, bloating, tightness was 100% better. And she said she felt less anxious in that area.
Yeah.
And she said, I was hoping he was wrong, and I put it back in, and immediately in 1 week it went back to.
We have so much experience like that. Like saying to people, they don't care, but we have one of a experimental thing. We think that the thing is like a lot of people hallucination with, sometimes because they feel like pretty in there, and then it's like, oh, I feel better. Because it's feel better with feeling like, oh, it's pretty nice little thing. But its digestion is going really, really bad, because it's too much pitta aggravating. This unnecessary race is already that's pitta. More pitta is you collect into that area. It's not very good, And other problems in that area, what is it? With the gastritis, ulcerative colitis, these liver problems, the cancers, the bowel cancers. And when it is happened to not like this area is not life-threatening. Prostate cancer, if you have a prostate cancer, you can live for 20 years, without a doubt, because prostate cancer is not make you die very quickly. But liver cancer, you have 6 months, And like if it comes to that problems in here, as bowel cancer, not that much of chance to live.
Mama is fatal.
Yeah, fatal. The tsunami point is a fatal point, and there's 5 fatal marma they call sadhya pranahara marma. Is the sudden death can occur. Nam is 1, Hada is 1, Guda is 1, Guda, not Guda. And then Sahasra is 1, and then Adipati is 1. And these 5 marma is like fatal. And then whatever you're doing to that marma is fatal. And don't do any piercing. please. Okay. Because you know.
Can I just say that in the Yoga Sutras, it says that by samyama on the navel plexus or nabi, knowledge of the whole body's constitution is attained. They say by meditating on the nabi,
Yeah.
you can understand the whole body, just how important that
Yeah,
area
it's called Agni Yoga. You see,
Mm.
Agni Yoga is like this meditating on your Agni.
Yeah.
You know, like the Agni Yoga. This is I know the Jeff is also sometimes, you know, like he's saying, yeah, Agni Yoga is the one for this era,
Mm.
this time. It's the whole meditation onto that, you know, your being, your balance, you know, kind of thing. And it's Nabi is really important point in the body. And then that's when we do Panchakama also, when we really at last we focusing about the Nabi Chakra to eliminate all the imbalance out, because it's when you press the Nabi Chakra you can feel like a lot of pulsation on that chakra, you know, like it's like you can see your is lie on there, Agni, you know, and transmit energy, you know, and this very important point. And then this why, you know, you need to have a good food, you know, good food, you know, like digestible good food is working through digestion. And it is like, it's like if you have a petrol somewhere, you have to use it, burn it, to not to have a you know, big fire, you see, slightly burn it every day. And that's like petrol tank, you know, like you can't put a, you know, setting fire in here because it's destroying, you know. And then other problems there, this place you have IBS, yes, IBS. IBS is is Vata Pitta kind of problem, lots of Pitta, and lot of autoimmune disorders. What is colitis, and that kind of problem you can have in here. And especially
leaky gut. How about leaky gut?
Leaky gut is, you can't say now leaky gut. Okay, there is no disorder. And what does that mean, leaky gut? Anything leaky? If anything leaky, yeah, you will die. That's what is a covered, you know, mouth to anal canal. That's a nice covered place, you know, like you put in the food in, and it's like digestion, and your poo is going, and it's if any times you leak in something, what happen? You know, and you leak. Patient, the Western medicine doesn't know what is leaking. Leaking is the fire element and the armor, you know, and then armor is leaking. That's what is called leaking. You know? And then the scientist is he called to GP. GP said, you have a leaky gut, and then he asked, what is leaking? And he said, I don't know. It's called leaky gut, you know, because it's like leaky gut means something has to be leaking, is it?
What's the signs and symptoms for that?
It's like the armor symptoms, you know, like the stomach pain, severe pain in the stomach, and burning sensation, and you can't digest anything. You have very low Agni. In any time anything you're eating, you have a bloating and the wind and severe pain. And then mean lack of digestive fire, Mandagni, you know, and armor is producing. Armor is, you know, like visible something toxins forming, and then they said it's a leaky gut, a new kind of disorder called leaky gut, but it's nothing to leak, and then it's a armor, you know.
Is it possible for this to happen without anything visible on the tongue, for example?
Yeah. It's every armor disorders you can't predict it by the armor on the tongue. Why is that? It's deeper. It's not going, you know, like if armor is the copper kind of armor can always predicted by the tongue, but it's more pitta kind of armor is much more deeper, and it is not coming in this way and that way, and then only thing they can have that like a mouth kind of bad breath and the what you call the pure taste in the mouth, and that can happen. Not armor is only couple type of armor you can predict by the the tongue, and other having prediction of the tongue is still making a lot of harm in the gut. Okay, and then when you come into the some other disorders, sometimes your tongue is kind of really beautifully presented, but you have a lot of problem in the digestion. Can happen. Okay, and that's what it's all about. It's like eightfold method. Nadi Mutra Mala Jiva Sabda Drukakruti. Not only tongue diagnosis can predict armor, there must be one diagnosis, but it's not one diagnosis. There is a 8 kind of diagnosis tools in there, and some other diagnostic tools as well, and we have to use everything to predict the armor. Okay, and then we if somebody comes to that kind of problems, you have to give an idea to, yes, meditation is not bad for these people. It's like meditation mean that, what that they mean meditation mean. Have the time. So many people come in and pitta kind of thing, and then it doesn't matter to have a little bit of time for yourself. Like doesn't matter, you close the door, open the door and go out, and even in a coffee shop, doesn't matter, don't drink the coffee, but have a little bit of time for yourself is much important with the time, because the more the thinking time comes to them, more the agitation going to be, more this anger going to be, more frustration going to be, more pitta is increasing. Okay, and then at least don't think in anything, do meditation 10 minutes is enough for them, because they not like Vata people. Pitta people, if you don't think anything, they will not think anything, because they are they have their this is willpower. And then Vata type, they don't think anything, because I say so, don't think anything, they think more, and like Vata and Pitta is different, and Pitta too, like it's not aimed to, in that meditation, is not aiming to go to heaven. It's like have a little bit of time for yourself, and that kind of meditation is good for this kind of people. Okay, and then a little bit, it's a thinking times comes, like the not thinking time comes, is they feel like a little bit grounding themselves a little bit. Okay, and then we come into the other 3 chakra, which is human being can have Anahata, Vishuddhi and Ajna. Anahata chakra is heart, and air is the element, and heart chakra is the heart point is the marma point is there. What is this chakra holding, and what is the imbalance can happen in here? What is this place? It's congestion, and all the phlegm and congestion of emotions and congestion of physical element phlegm. Congestion of emotions. What is the congestion of emotions? The love and the sadness, and then guilt conscious and sadness. This whole is lying in that place. And when emotions lies in that place, what is Vata people do? What is Kapha people do? What is Pitta people do? Kapha people eat. Vata people not eat. Pitta people, Pitta people what they do?
They also eat.
They control other people. They can't control themselves. The more is a controlling, the more emotions comes, like they control other people, and Vata people is not eating. What is the problem with them? Anorexia. The more emotions come, they can't eat. They can't eat. You see, the digestive fire is disappearing. And all Vata people say knows, if you have relationship problem, or if you have problem is a blah blah blah, if you're in a love, they can't eat, you know. But they are in a love, in a couple of people, they can eat, make a meal, you know. And they have relationship problem, they eat, you know. And because the way is Vata and Kapha is different. And then emotional problem extend to come to anorexia. What had to happen? More emotion congested in that area, and they know they can't eat. They can control by not eating, and that means anorexia is completely due to heart chakra, the emotions. Okay, anorexia. Don't worry about to tell anybody to eat 1,000 million times. Eat. They don't going to eat unless the emotions are dealt with. Okay, and then it is not first starting like a anorexia. It's first starting like a I can't eat because these emotions. This I don't feel hungry, and it is becoming like a pattern. The Vata type always having that addiction, is it? This is addictive to not eating, you know, and it is becoming more and more. More you stay hunger, more you can stay. More you stay hunger, more you can stay. And more you stay hunger, you can feel better. And like that is like without knowing them, they come into that stage and that anorexia. And the other way around, when you have obesity, what is it? The other way around. You feel sad, you eat, and it make you sad, and you eat, and it you make big, and you eat, and then other way around. The one wheel spinning this way, other wheel spinning other way. And this Vata Kapha. This Vata Kapha plays as well, is it? Vata Kapha disorders are there. What are the Vata Kapha disorders? Asthma. Udana Vata, Prana Vata obstruct by the Kapha. You know, like difficult to breathe. Asthma is this Vata Kapha problem. Vata want to do something, Kapha want to do something. Vata want to breathe, Kapha want to stay. And then that means different kind of killing is going. It's called asthma, you know. And then what are the other disorders in here? Asthma, anorexia, obesity, heart disease due to Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Yeah, the other things, you know, the bronchitis and you know, pulmonary emphysema, pleurisy, and this kind of thing. But mostly is you're present with obesity, anorexia, and this anger, control issues. The Pitta people, you know, like because Pitta doesn't have that own controlling. They can't take the Vata or Pitta, and they, instead of that, their heart is onto other people to control other people, you know. And the Vata Kapha is like people is controlling themselves, like not eating or overeating, and Pitta is staying in that place and controlling the other people, and that means becoming like this Vata person becoming like skinny anorexic, with the Kapha people becoming like a obese person, Pitta people become like a monster to other people, because why? They out, everything is like controlling other people.
Would it be just one, or I mean, if you do a constitution, can you be like a skinny or a fat monster?
Yes, they both monsters. even the why the
one would be more dominant, or can they be like, you know, both of them, like the Pitta and the Kapha, or the Pitta and the Vata will go mad over the constitution?
The Pitta, I can't understand your question very much.
You said you know, if you have an issue there, so let's say if you're Kapha constitution,
yeah,
you become
obese, yeah.
If you're Pitta, you become controlling.
Controlling.
But if you're Pitta Kapha,
Yeah, Pitta Kapha, and you're
You'll be a
obese
controlling
and the
obese.
controlling.
you will.
Yeah, and then it is much harder than the dual constitution Kapha. And the Kapha Pitta is much harder to deal with, Kapha Pitta,
Yeah.
because they have controlling issues plus,
They start with
yeah,
this.
the stubbornness and the attachment and getting on the big as well. And then that is much harder. Then other side Vata Pitta comes, is anorexic and stubborn. You know, you see anorexic, some girls I see, 16 years old, the power of, 50 years old woman, controlling all the family, all in front of everybody, and nasty, and then very driven by the anger, and then can happen Vata and the Pitta in. And dual constitution is, some anorexic people you can see really nice and so soft and gentle. I think why you become anorexic, like you can't, it's like a little petal, rose petal kind of thing. It's like they're breakable, really innocent, really, and but they don't have, the out. I have seen both sides. I think, why you become anorexic? Why? Is you have to help that person, but it's like is even that control, how she get there, I don't know, kind of thing. And then some other person is 16 years old, Pitta and Kapha, Pitta and Vata, is like even, me to handle these people is really hard. Hard is a Pitta Kapha involved. And like that, 3 dosha can involve. And but when the Pitta is, instead of controlling themselves, they're controlling outside environment.
What would pulmonary embolism be in that area then?
It's always like embolism meaning some kind of blockage, and that means like a Shrotas blocked by, what is it? Like it is might be the fat, it is might be the blood, it might be the empty the water, kind of. It's like embolism can happen 3 different way to 3 different people. Okay, and the heart chakra is like what kind of thing you're going to give this kind of people, and how do you deal with the anorexia, obesity, and then controlling issues people have. And anorexia is like really is, again, you have to discuss the issues with where the sadness came from. A lot of Vata